Yo, y'all, this was Happy7, and today I am going to keep playing Hello Charlotte Episode 2. Last time, we ended because my computer was about to run out of power, but we also ran into the bathroom, threw up some eater, and met this dude again. Equality for everyone, shared toilets and changing rooms for both boys and girls. Let's see. I suppose I should head back to the classroom. I don't remember where it is. This does not look like it, but there's an awfully... Ooh. Access denied. Okay. There's an awfully large amount of people with no, changing room. Okay. No. This? No. What the fuck? How do I get back to the classroom? Our god is a loser. Wow. That's shitty. I mean, obviously, but... Oh! Hey! This is a piano version of the menu theme to the game. My bag's gone. Oh, not this shit again. He's not even up there. Where is he talking from? What is it, Miss Wiltshire? I'm very sorry, I can't find my belongings. The class laughs. Maybe someone accidentally took it. Excuse me, I'll go look for it. Teacher, can I go too? Why would you, Miss Warhol? Because I want to help, of course. Two heads are better than... Ooh, you said that to the wrong guy. Okay, you can go. Henri runs to help me with a happy grin. I wish I had a teacher, like teachers that lenient. Holy shit. I'll help, Charlie. Thank you, Henri. I appreciate it. New task. Look for the bag. Ooh, the themes didn't change. Did you see that god imposter? I think he needs help. I think we already read that. Let's go to the third floor. Socialization is the key to see another day. I don't think it's in there. What's good? Okay, nothing, I guess. No bags here. We don't need to go there right now. Don't we? I don't know where the hell I'm supposed to look for it. Holy shit. That freaks me out every goddamn time. Initiating socialization with beheaded student. Yeah, nuts to that. There's no levels in this game. Okay. See, that's the thing about combat in games like this, is I can understand if you want some sort of conflict, like randomized conflict. That makes sense in a JRPG, but when there's no levels, then there stops being any incentive whatsoever to actually doing the battle, and so you just run from it every single time. Especially if it's turn-based bullshit like that. I mean, they made it a little bit more interesting, but I mean, honestly, the only two games with good turn-based combat, in my opinion, are Heroes of Might and Magic. That whole series, I guess, is a lot more than just two games. But I guess Heroes of Might and Magic 4 especially, I really like that one. And Undertale. And then consequently Deltarune, I suppose. But honestly, any other game with turn-based combat that I've played has just been a slog to get through. I mean, it's usually pretty bad. Pokemon is okay too, because there's a lot of mix-ups in that. There's a digital card game called Duelist that was pretty good in that way. But I mean, for the most part, if you have the ability to make a video game, why not make it the combat exhilarating, not tactical. I mean, if it's tactical, I suppose, if you're doing some sort of tactical combat, but usually it's a one-on-one or, a much more individual battle. But anyway. Is that in the principal's room? Geez, how many times do I have to tell you it's forbidden to enter the principal's room? Yeah, we learned about that. Infirmary. Garden. Go outside? Sure. Oh, shit. Charlie, are these yours? I don't know. All the pencils and pens are covered in mud. Look, it's yours too, right? This textbook cost a lot. Initiating socialization with student amalgamate, but not really. There's another textbook. I wonder who did this. Ah, and I like this notebook. The pages are completely soaked. Maybe there was some kind of misunderstanding. There's no way it is. Anxious student. I'm good. Henri picks up another notebook. Did I do something wrong? Okay, so, sorry, just to clarify with that whole turn-based combat deal, I just feel like, turn-based combat isn't inherently flawed. It's just you have to have something to make it out of the ordinary, something to make it interesting, besides just, classic Final Fantasy I style turn-based combat. Because while that was interesting for the time, like, when it first came out, it was a new idea, I guess, but the problem is that it gets boring real fast. But when you have something like Heroes of Might and Magic, where every single unit has their own special, features when they're attacking and get attacked, different retaliations and abilities and things like that, where other people can give them, different buffs and debuffs and things like that. And then you've got like hero classes and monster classes, 4 different classes of monsters. Not to mention all the different, moves out that like everybody can do outside of like spells and creature specific abilities. And the fact that you can actually see all that and that you have to move your character across the map to something instead of just sitting there right in front of the person the whole time. Because like I feel like that helps a lot in turn-based combat when you can actually see what's happening. Because when it's just, sort of like this, it's a bit, I don't know, motivation is lost real fast because there's really no reason to want to, I don't know, it just doesn't seem like you're making a whole lot of progress without some sort of visual indication that you actually are. I mean, you can tell me I did 30 damage all you want, but until I see that I'm actually making some bit of progress, it really doesn't feel like I am. And I feel like that's the problem with that game. End Roll that I played part of the way through on the channel is that, well, not to mention, it was random what attacks the opponent used. And, well, that's not inherently a bad thing. Sometimes it would be an attack that did, like, so little damage it barely would even fucking matter that they attacked at all. And sometimes it would insta-kill literally everyone in my party. And I'm not even kidding about that. It was ridiculous. It was terribly done. That's the main reason I stopped playing it. But it's I mean, but then, I guess another good example would be Undertale, which has very, very similar, turn-based combat to, what's it called? Like, I don't know, traditional JRPGs. But the introduction of the whole bullet hell thing, and which is a really good, fast-paced, real-time representation of the actual attack of whatever thing that you're fighting. And I thought that it was an awesome way to do it. And I'd love to replicate it, but I feel like that it would just be kind of copying that game. But it is difficult to do turn-based combat, but it's certainly possible. So it's just it's difficult to create something totally unique. Even the pages from my book of truth are torn out, even though I worked so hard on keeping it tidy. Those bastards, how could they do this to you? I think it's some kind of mistake. There's no way it is. Like I said, it's okay. Unforgivable, unforgivable, unforgivable. Enough of this. I'll report it to the teacher. Henri leaves before I could protest any further. Looks like we found everything. I don't feel like going to class anymore. Let's go home, Seth. I wish it was that simple, holy shit. I'm home. Took you long. Hey, what happened? Something wrong? You're covered in blood. Don't worry, it must be mine. That's exactly what I'm worried about, stupid. You need to see Huxley, now. Nothing important, really. It's nothing important, really. Uncle's rule, no objections from the sick. Felix clumsily... I don't know why I thought I said that wrong. Felix clumsily dragged me to the basement stairs, talking me by the sleeve. What were you doing, even? I talked to God today. Oh, no, this looks worse than I thought. Might as well check your brain function, too. Should I start with the good news or the bad news? Just kidding. I was planning to tell you the good news first anyway. Well, the good news is that I know what it is. The bad news is that it's nearly incurable. He says with a smile on his face. I see. So what exactly are these, Uncle? Heart wounds, as I like to call them. This kind of disease is quite common for those in their adolescent period, just like you are now. When you're stressed, anxious, or hurt by words and actions of others, these words inflicted upon you will manifest as scars on your body, mostly on your arms, to be more specific. Huh. Alright. That's... interesting. Well, it's not lethal, but it will cause you some minor inconveniences. The good side to the disease is that although your body will become vulnerable, your mind will receive less damage. Isn't that wonderful? I suppose so. There's nothing to laugh about. Now, don't be so harsh. Can't you see our little miss already has so weak immunity to her environment? Whatever. I'm getting back to work. Do forgive him. No, I'm not angry, it's just that I don't understand why he is. Must be worried about you, am I wrong? He shouldn't be, I don't deserve that. He must be thinking otherwise. Take care, little one, will you? Worry not, Seth will make sure of it. I'm sure he will. Good night, Dr. Huxley. Sorry for disturbing you at this hour. It's nothing. Remember my clinic's motto? Healthy people are not welcome here. Wow. So there, feel free to visit when you're sick. For now, I'll get back to work. Your social stamina has increased. Go to sleep. Okay. Ugh. This is still really kind of disturbing. This one has been operated on for a few weeks. Poor thing. The specimen looks like living bowels with eyes. I briefly wonder if it has a vertebrae inside. Doesn't look like it? Ugh. Is this open? No, wait. Can I not? There we go. What was that? A hideous smell is coming from the kitchen. I try the door handle, but it's locked. Is anybody in here? Dear girl, I don't think it would be a good time to enter right now. Aiden, is that you? What happened? Mr. Bennet decided to take up cooking, and right now his cooking is destroying everything in sight. Ah, I see. Well, I won't hinder you. I don't really understand Bennett's whole, occupation. He seems just like a guy who walks around in a hazmat suit and pretends to know what he's doing. Anyways, good night, Seth. Oh, hey. Rise and shine. Frey waltzes around the room. As you can see, I've done some rearrangements in this place. Hasn't it become lovely? I'll do something about the fog, too. Also, I've brushed your clothes. Put your hands up. And voila. Now we're one of a kind. Frey. Yes? What are all these books doing here? Let's call it the Mind Library. You see, memories are stories from the past that we retell to ourselves. Once they're gone, you're no longer the person you used to be. But I'm drifting away from the point. Stories are meant to be kept in books, right? Many books make a library. There you can find every memory, every feeling, every action you've done or considered doing. All possibilities are written down right here. Some stories are better off being forgotten, however. I've selected a variety of especially interesting memory journals for you. Feel free to read them if you feel like it. Even if your memory is still fresh, I believe that your puppeteer will be delighted to know more about people you've associated with. Huh, okay. Okay, I'm not gonna check all of those. I don't think they do anything. What is this? No, not yet. Can I play the piano? A piano? Wanna try it? Today I'll pass. How I Met Aiden. Alright, sure, fine. I was 9. It was during Christmas when I hid under the sofa in order to catch Santa Claus with a rope and a bottle of chloroform. The one who came through the fireplace wasn't St. Nicholas, it was a horned creature instead. Come out, mischievous one. I can see you, he called unwillingly. I had to comply, hiding the chloroform behind my back. You're not Santa Claus, I declared, a bit disappointed. I am widely known by the name of Krampus, the beast answered, proud of himself. So Santa won't come. Oh, so Santa won't come, I sighed, sulking even more. Santa Claus brings gifts to good children only. I come to punish those who misbehaved, the beast continued. But I'm a good girl, I declared confidently. And may I ask why you feel this way? Mom says so. Even though she barely sees you, how can she make this statement? Mom's always right. She also says not to talk to strangers, I added, pouting. In a swift movement, I brought my chloroform-soaked towel to the creature's face. Seconds later, he was sprawled on the floor, motionless. You obviously did not do your research. Yeah, chloroform works way, way slower than movies would have you believe. It can take up to a minute for that to actually render someone totally unconscious. Seconds later. I mean, maybe if he just, inhaled it through his nose or something, you know? I mean, the actual liquid, like if he was drowning in chloroform. But then he'd be drowning anyway, so it wouldn't matter if it was chloroform or not. So, I'll just go with the assumption that Krampus is extremely susceptible to chloroform. It's a pity you're not Santa Claus, I exclaimed, hovering over him. Slowly, I dragged his body down the stairs to the basement. What's the commotion about? 2 figures peeked out of the dissections room's doorframe. It was Bennet and a co-worker of his, Florence. You brought friends. Why didn't you say earlier? Ever since he found a new bright yellow hazmat suit, a bright yellow hazmat suit who was no longer called B12, Bennet was constantly in a great mood. There were barely any signs of the moody person he used to be. Mind helping me a bit? I smiled, sweating. Sure, what do you want to do with this? Dissecting, researching, eating, perhaps? Bennet asked mischievously. No, I want to become friends. How do you plan to do that? Florence gave me a worried look. I looked at the ceiling as if the answers were there. Make him sign a contract, maybe? Perhaps I was a mischievous child after all. Memory end. How I Met Bennet and Huxley. Sure. I was 8. Well, I should have read this one first. One of the 2 days when I was home alone, they appeared out of nowhere on my doorstep. There was a small rhythmic knocking at first. Knock, 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 knock. Oh my god, a lot. Repeating over and over again. I knew I shouldn't open the door. Mother told me not to do so, no matter what. Guild children don't disobey their parents. Knock, knock. When I was scared of the unknown, I crawled under the bed to hide beside the monsters beneath it. I felt safe among them. As the time passed, the knocking got louder and louder and louder until I couldn't bear it anymore. I was adamant on staying under the bed until morning comes. Then I heard the door opening with a click sound. Someone came in. My room had no locks, so I ran to the bathroom. However, I was too slow. A figure in a hazmat suit covered my mouth, and another curled around me in an iron hold. Shh, the intruder whispered. Don't make a sound. Another figure had a mask on, that one plague doctors would wear, from horror movies would wear. He spoke like a doctor in an understanding, polite voice. We're sorry to have to interrupt you, but I'm afraid we have no place in this to go in this cold, and the other households we've turned to, expressed quite inadequate reaction to our humble plea for shelter. After being turned down so many times, we figured we'd force our way in. You see, we're so very tired. Do you live alone? The person in the hazmat suit asked in a harsh tone, hissing at me. No, was my simple answer, in a voice hoarse from fear. I thought of Umbrella Man and his quiet presence in the room, and how good it would be if he appeared sooner. He was nothing like these violent strangers. All right, are you good at keeping secrets, little one? The doctor asked. The only option I had was to nod in approval. Great. Bennet, dear, if you would be so kind, do release the child. She's no threat. You're too trusting, the other one grumbled. Am I? The taller person let out a loud laugh, sending shivers down my spine. You see, I am a doctor, he continued. Figures. However, my stay in this place is highly confidential, so I wouldn't like anyone on our tail. Please do respect that and keep our stay here a secret. If you don't, I'll kill your parents, Bennet said in a casual tone, as if it wasn't a threat. Father doesn't come home these days, I replied, saddened by the fact. Sorry, just your mother, then. That settles it, the doctor beamed. Now, little one, accompany us to the bathroom, for I'm awfully hungry, as I could eat a human. The smaller man elbowed him. Ah, sorry, that was a joke, a bad one. The doctor quickly backtracked. In the morning, I found the two peacefully sleeping in the bathtub, having eaten all the soap and shampoo on the shelves. Huh. The next day, they'd settled in the basement, and a week later, I was doing all kinds of errands for the research. Collecting bugs? Oh, I bet that's probably the and symbol. And collecting bugs, burying a year's supply of soap with the funds in a money jar, and helping to carry bags with unknown contents on a daily basis. Of course, I made sure Mom never ever went into the basement at night. Umbrella Man appeared weeks later, only to pat my forehead and reassure me that he'd kept an eye on them. Memory end. Huh. Alright then. Perhaps you'd like to join me in reading with Miss Wiltshire? Sure. Frey chuckles. Alright. I'm rereading an anthology of Greek myths. Have you read the story of Hades and Persephone? They said that Hades, the god of the underworld, captured the beautiful princess, the beautiful Persephone, the goddess of springtime. But I believe it was Persephone who captured Hades, and his heart and mind belongs to none other than her since the moment they met. Which was quite rare for a Greek god, considering. Even though the pomegranate seeds Persephone ate urged her to return to the underworld for half a year, she was allowed to live on the surface for the rest of the time. Just like you come back here only during the dream state. Or is this comparison too much of a stretch? I do tend to get carried away with words. Oh my, seems like someone's fallen asleep already. Sleep well, princess. Are you alright? It's nothing, don't worry. I just need to wash my face, that's all. Today, too, we'll get up, go to school, and go back to sleep. Who's asked? Go to the bathroom. My friend, you are in denial. Okay, well, I think that I will end the episode there at the beginning of day 6. So, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then please leave a like and subscribe to join the Chorus Rebellion. If you have any suggestions for games for me to play, which make my commentating more enjoyable, don't hesitate to leave a comment. That's about it. See ya.